What's up, rub-a-dub subs? Black Metal Werewolf here, coming for a new video this week. No, just kidding. I'm not Black Metal Werewolf, but I am Vulvagore, third goddamn teen. And welcome to the next installment in my vinyl series. That was perfect. Okay, but first off, before, I talk about any of my records, we gotta talk about the album of the video. This week, it is Slun's If You're Angry and You Know It, Clap Your Hands. This is a really terrifying, power violence band that I can't get enough of. But alright, where we left off in the vinyl series, we ended with Death. So we're still in the D's, and we're not gonna leave the D's. Because there's a shit ton of D albums I have. But let's find out. Ooh, 2 YouTubers in 1 video. Goddamn. Alright, let's get cracking, shall we? First up, gotta talk about them. Gotta bring them up. They're the elephant in the room. They are Death Grips. Death Grips, Death Grips, Death Grips, Death Grips. What the heck is up about Death Grips? 3 YouTubers in 1 video. Death Grips is an experimental industrial project. I mean, a lot of people want to call them industrial hip-hop, but, most of the albums don't really have the hip-hop vibe. But, this is Ex-Military, my favorite from them. This was their first mixtape. They had an EP before this, but this album is like my Bible. This is like one of my favorite albums of all time. It's just really, abrasive and just chaotic and just hobo yelling in your face. Just chaos. Ooh, 4 YouTubers in 1 video. But yeah, Death Grips, Ex-Military, if you want to get your shit rocked, listen to that. Still on the Death Grips train, we got The Money Store. This is their most iconic album. The Needle Drop, infamously gave it a 10. But this is only maybe my 3rd or 4th favorite Death Grips album. But this album is ridiculously catchy. You'd think a group like Death Grips, with a reputation and, what they stand for, you'd think there'd be a bunch of savage animals. Everyone was expecting, Ex-Military 2. But this is, really... I keep saying catchy, because that's, the only way I can think of to describe it. It's, really meaty and badass synths. It's just, the 3 musicians behind this are just off the rockers. They are insane. Then the last Death Grips album I have on vinyl is The Powers That Be. This is a double LP, double album. The first is Fellas on the Moon, and the second half is Jenny Death. I massively prefer Jenny Death over Fellas on the Moon. Fellas on the Moon is probably that Bjork sample that just gets really annoying after a while. Up my sleeves. That song's really good. I still like it. There's no Death Grips album I don't like. But it's just, Fellas on the Moon is my least favorite. But Jenny Death, on the other hand, really sick guitar riffs, a lot of live drumming from Zach Hill. It's just fucking amazing. And it has so many bangers. Piss Piss, Why Bitch Gotta Lie, Inanimate Sensation, Breaking Mirrors with My Face in the United States, This is some premium shit. What do we got next? Ooh, we got Deicide! Love 'em or hate 'em, Deicide are one of the most best-selling and well-known death metal bands of all time. I personally am actually a pretty big Deicide fan. Like, I mean, everyone wants to single out Deicide solely just because Glenn Benton is an asshole. But there's so many other assholes in music who still can get fans. Why can't Deicide? But yeah, this is their second most recent album. The one that came out this year I haven't even listened to yet. But this album was actually really good for a modern Deicide album. They started back in the late 80s and early 90s a lot with a lot of the other old school death metal bands. Now we got my favorite from Deicide, which is their self-titled. I remember this was one of the first death metal albums I ever got into. I remember specifically the song Dead by Dawn. Like, I could not stop listening to that song. Like, at the time, that shit was mind-bending to me. Like, how he could produce vocals like that is fucking unreal. But yeah, Deicide. Up next, let me gather my shit here. There's another Deicide with Serpents of the Light. I actually got the poster hanging out over there. But yeah, this is probably my second favorite Deicide album, just more classic Deicide. This came out in 1997, looks like, the year I was born. But yeah, just good, brutal. Not as brutal as like a Suffocation, for example, but this is still, you know, some quality old school death metal. Then up next, we got even more death metal with Devourment. Slam, 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 slam. I mean, really, this and Pathology are like the only two slam bands. Slam as in slamming death metal. But, like Slam, to me, is basically deathcore mixed with death metal. And I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a useless discussion trying to explain it. But yeah, this is Slam, some pretty good Slam. This is Conceived in Sewage. Yeah, I want to get more Devourment. I think this is the only one I have, and I need to get some Pathology on vinyl too. But yeah, Devourment. Now we're on to some crust punk shit. All my fellow crust punks, stand up. Because we got Doom with Total Doom. Doom, I think they're from the UK, yeah. Not really founding, they're like the most iconic crust punk band. Crust punk, to me, is basically sludge metal mixed with hardcore punk. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, at least. I think this is just a compilation, like a lot of other fucking punk albums, but yeah, actually I caught Doom live like a year or so ago, and they were fucking amazing. You know, good crust punk action. I need more crust punk in my life. I have a Nausea album that will come up when we get to the ends, and that's about it. I need to beef up my crust punk game. But now we gotta give back the sludge, because we're talking about the one and only Down with No LA. This is the sludge metal band fronted by Phil Anselmo of Pantera fame. Actually, I really prefer Down over Pantera. This album is way better than anything Pantera ever wrote, and I think Phil is at his best vocally here. Like, he can do both cleans and fucking screaming. Like, I don't think he can do that shit anymore. But when this album was written in, like, the mid-90s, I mean, he could actually sing pretty well. Like, the most popular song off here, Stone the Crow, that's a sweet jam. And there's some, what's the song name? Eyes of the South. There's and a few other tracks too. It has this like euphoric like climax at the end. It's just really groovy, really, you know, down-tuned, you know, stoner-esque, just great Louisianan Southern sludge metal. Sticking on the sludge train, we got Doom Riders. This is kind of stoner rock. Maybe even I'm gonna make up a genre name called sludge and roll, because this has got rock and roll vibes along with sludge metal. I think this comes on a cool. Ooh yeah, look at that green marble. But yeah, Doom Riders with Black Thunder. The first song off here, the self-titled, the namesake song, Black Thunder, it's just really catchy, this really, like, insane riff, like, that might be into the Slummed album, you know, since punk albums are so short, so, we're just gonna have to appreciate the silence for now. But yeah, Doom Riders. Only got a few more left. Now back to punk. We're going to be talking about my favorite punk band of all time and my favorite punk album of all time, which is Descendents' Milo Goes to College. This was like, I dated this girl like senior year, and like that's what like these songs and these two albums I'm about to show really, that's like what I listen to heavily. Like whenever I'm in like some kind of romantic relationship, I always crank some Descendents, because they were the pop punk pioneers pretty much. This came out like in the late 70s. And you know, there would be no Green Day, there would be no Blink-182 without Descendents. But yeah, really poppy, really catchy riffs, catchy melodies. Milo's an amazing singer and screamer. It's just way too cool. Descendents. Now for the second Descendents album I have, which is Everything Sucks. For a while I preferred this album from Milo Goes to College. This one came out in the 90s, I believe. But this is still, you know, the same formula. It's just this kind of has a more modern production style compared to Milo Goes to College. Their most recent album, Hip Something Mix Coffee. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's good, but I don't know. I can't beat these two. We got two more left. All right. Now we're gonna jump into some black metal with Dissection, the somber lane. Can't pronounce that. But yeah, Dissection, I'd say, I mean, they're pretty well known. I mean, someone who at least has a little more than casual understanding of black metal will know who Dissection are. This is my favorite from them. Yeah, just really raw, you know, frosty, you know, Arctic, just chilling, just amazingness. And to finish this all off, we got some Disma, The Graveless Remains. I think this comes under Wicked Pressing. Let me see. Oh no, it's just black. What the heck? Okay, but Disma. I probably consider them death doom. Really crushing, really heavy, really just ooh, 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 ooh. Just that's basically all I think of whenever I put this on. I actually haven't listened to this in a long ass time though. But yeah, Disma. If you like your death metal to be down tuned and really slow, then this is the way to go. Ooh, bars. Okay. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and have good listens. Ooh, 5 YouTubers.